Hi, this is Taylor with Rosh, and today I'm going to show you how to assign exams from the Program Director dashboard. Rosh offers an array of mini-tests that your program can assign to your students or residents. To access these exams, please log into the Program Director dashboard. We'll see here this is our PD homepage. Once you're logged in, please navigate to the Exams tab at the top of the page. Now your exams tab screen may look different than this. You'll have different exams listed depending on if it's a PA program, a family medicine program, or an EM program. If you have any questions about the exams that are showing up in your account, feel free to email us at support@roshreview.com and we'll be happy to help you. All programs, however, will have this assigned exams header and this available exams header. Any exams listed under the Available Exams tab have not been assigned to any users, and anything listed under the Assigned Exams tab has been assigned to at least one user. So to get started, we'll go ahead and click into this Resident Wellness under the Available Exams. We can now see some of the specifications for this exam, such as how many questions are contained, users assigned or completed, your program's average score, and the national average. If you scroll down further, you can choose which residents to assign this exam to. You'll see here this box is designated as Cohorts, and I highly recommend that you set your program's cohorts prior to assigning any exams. This will optimize the representation of your program's data. These cohorts are set up by PGY year. For example, if you were a PA program, you could set cohorts based on clinical or didactic year. Really, cohorts allows you to arrange your users in whatever way you'd like to represent your data more usefully. You can select all or select individual cohorts. You can also use this drop-down menu to select users on an individual basis. And once you've selected all the users you want assigned to this exam, you can click Next. This next page will allow you to customize the exam. I will say that when you're choosing between these two exam modes, please be sure to choose the mode that you would like used because it is difficult to edit an exam once it has been assigned. I can review all of these specifications now. Tutor Mode allows the user to answer a question and then it shows them the in-depth explanation after that answer is submitted. It does this for each question in the exam. Test Mode, on the other hand, will not show the user the explanation after an answer is submitted. It simply moves on to the next question. The user can then review the explanations after the entire exam is submitted. Also under Test Mode, you can choose Timed or Untimed mode. Timed mode tries to mimic, the real world settings of sitting for an exam. For a PA program, we allot 60 seconds per question, and an emergency medicine, family medicine, any MD program, they're allotted 72 seconds per question. You take that time allotment and multiply it by the total number of questions in the exam to get the overall time allotment for the exam. If the exam is not completed in time, the exam will automatically submit, and any questions the user has completed will be registered as their score. We also have an assignment start date. If you're in here assigning exams, being proactive, and you'd like to assign exams but not use today's date as the start date, you can choose dates in advance, and the exams will be released at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on the day you've selected. Similarly, with assignment end date, if you'd like your user to complete the exam in a week or in 1 month or before their specific rotation ends, this allows you to set sort of an expiration date for the exam. And if the user doesn't complete the exam by this date, the exam is automatically submitted with a score of 0. Lastly is the Allow Retake function. If you assign an exam without allowing the retakes, every user will have one attempt of the exam. Once they've submitted the exam, they can no longer access it. They can still review the answers, but they cannot actively submit new answers on that exam. If you turn the retakes on, the user can access it as many times as they'd like. The nice thing about allowing retakes is that once an exam is assigned, you can go back in and turn these on at a later date. So One way to use this would be to assign the exam, no retakes, everyone gets one attempt of the exam. Once you've recorded all of their scores, you can go in and then turn the retakes on later and allow the users to reattempt the exams if they'd like. Now that we've assigned the exam, we see a notification that it has been assigned to one user. We can click into the exam. We see that the user hasn't yet submitted the exam. There's no submitted date listed here, and there's no score listed here either. Additionally, because the text is still in black and this checkbox is available next to the user's name, we have the ability to unassign the exam if we needed to. This is only capable because the user hasn't started the exam and hasn't submitted the exam yet. If we need to unassign the exam, perhaps this exam was assigned in error, or we realize we assigned it in test mode and we want to assign it in tutor mode. This is only possible, again, if the user hasn't started the exam yet. And as I promised, you can still go in and turn retakes on at a later date. So what you would do is click into this exam and simply toggle this button. There's no save button, you just turn this switch and the retakes are now allowed. This is how, if a user submits an exam on accident or if an exam times out on a user, this is how you quote-unquote reassign the exam, is by allowing these retakes. And if we click back into the exams tab, we can review quickly this foundations exam. You can see that this user was assigned the exam, one user has completed the exam. There is a submitted date and a score registered. And as I said, this text has now turned to gray. That unassigned residence checkbox is no longer available. So we know this user has submitted their exam. From under the Exams tab, we can now review the exam for this individual user. We'll see that the majority of questions were unattempted, 4% of questions were correct, and 38% were incorrect. We can review the entire exam or just the questions that were correct, incorrect, not attempted. And if you scroll further down, you'll see a bit of a performance breakdown as far as the blueprint of the exam. This allows you to start to develop some trends over time, over different exams, as to what the user's strengths are. If we go back to the PD dashboard, you'll see some further breakdowns for this exam. This is similar data to what was shown in the last page of the blueprint, just represented in a slightly different way. You can also view further performance data under the resident performance or the program performance tabs. So this has been a brief overview of how to assign mini tests in the Program Director dashboard. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us at support@roshreview.com. Thanks.